Forms has many uses for the classroom. Not only is Google Forms great for gathering information for formative assessments for students, Google Forms can also be used for collaborative activities. So I'm going to walk you through how I use the Google Form with students to get them to gather information and critically think about the information to create something. So as a class, we created this form, and I realize it's all in French, but we created this form for them to send out to as many French-speaking people as they could worldwide. And what we did was we had actually 3 different classes working on this form. I created collaborators, so I shared this with some students for them to be able to also add questions. So just by going to add collaborators, I gave certain students access to this particular form. And as a class, the students worked in groups to develop questions. So the whole purpose of this particular form that they created was to gather some information about the opinions and likes and dislikes about school worldwide, because we were studying the differences between the American school system and school systems in other countries. So they worked together to develop questions, and then we added them to this Google form. And then using the link, I made it open to where anyone who could, or I made this form open to where anybody could access it, not just people in our domain. And then we shared it out to in using social media to as many people as we could. So I put it on Twitter. I sent it to French teachers that I knew that were teaching in countries all over the world. And I put it in Google Groups. So I just got this out there. And the students did the same thing. They got this link out there to as many people as they could, whether they were Americans speaking French or whether they were just somebody who was Francophone. And then we got, you can see here, 152 responses. And I love that Google Forms gives us the quick view of responses so I can quickly see all of the information here. But then I also love that it creates a spreadsheet. So I gave my student, after we got this out there, and I think we had the form open for a couple of weeks. I then I gave them the link to the form so that they could just view it. Their job within their groups was to take this information in this huge Google sheet of all of the responses for people who responded to our survey and make sense of this information and put it into an infographic. And what's great about using Google Forms is that by using this spreadsheet that it creates for you, all of our responses to the form are sent to a spreadsheet. I can use the Explore button at the bottom of that Google Sheet in order to get some great information in a visual format. It automatically creates for me some graphs. I can choose colors if I wanted to, and it just basically took the questions from our survey and developed graphs for us. I can even get a specific graph if I wanted to. If I wanted to see, this question here is, do you have a phone? So if I wanted to have the question, avez-vous un mobile? If I wanted to get that information, I could put that in here and see what the Explore button gives to me. But I can also take this information, so if I click on this little button, I can edit this so that if I am going to use this in an infographic and click that little pencil, I can change the colors, I can change the wording so that we could put this into any language really if I wanted to. And then with this little drop down here, I can actually publish this chart or copy this chart so then I can bring it over to a Google Drawing and paste that in there. It gives me the option to link it to this spreadsheet or not. I don't really want it linked to the spreadsheet. And then I have a chart in this Google Drawing that then I can create an infographic with. So it's another way to get students to think critically, work collaboratively. In order to gather information, we also connected to authentic audiences, and they were really excited to see each day how many people had responded to their form. And as more and more people responded from all over the world, and you can see in our spreadsheet here, you can see we have people all over the world who have responded to this form. And they were so excited to see the opinions and the thoughts of the people globally as they were responding to our form.